Hey guys, Steve here from the Cook Family Homestead, and I have been planning to make this video for months and months and months, and with this coronavirus hysteria, I figure what better time than now. So let's get started. Alright guys, hey, I thought I would do this video. Like I said, I was planning to do this months and months ago, but with the coronavirus and things going around, what better time than now? So I wanted to show you how we prep in this video. I'm going to concentrate on hygiene and our food preps, and kind of where to start if you have zero preps. Where do you start? And if you do, where do you want to get to? So kind of that's what this video is about, and it's kind of to show you what we do, how we do food storage, how we do hygiene. And so we always forget, I think in prepping we always forget about hygiene, but when it comes to viruses or diseases, hygiene, sanitation is your #1 defense. Not vaccines, none of that. It's hygiene and sanitation. We see that in California with homeless population exploding. We're seeing diseases that were eradicated, like typhus, coming back for people who are vaccinated. These are because of hygiene, because fecal and hand-to-hand contact are what spread diseases. So sanitation and hygiene is very important. We'll talk about that, but we're going to start with food, and I'm going to talk about how we prepare for ourselves, what we do, and where should you start? So where should you start if you have nothing? If you have zero preps, where should you start? Well, even the government tells you this. You should have 72 hours worth of food. So no matter where you are, where you're at, you should have 72 hours. You should be able to survive, you and your family, for 72 hours in almost any situation. Obviously, if your house gets taken down, that's different, but if you were, my wife teaches for VIP Kid. She teaches English to Chinese kids. They've been quarantined in their house since the end of January, over a month, almost a month and a half. They're now starting to go back to school, but quarantines aren't out of the question. That could happen in our country very easily. In fact, we're on the verge of that in some places. So what would you do if you were quarantined for a week or two? So those are things you need to think about. But you should be able to survive for 72 hours. So if you have nothing, get that 72 hours worth of food. And food is pretty easy. Now when it comes to, if it's 10 below zero, those are different circumstances. So I'll get into that in another video when I talk about medical and emergency supplies. So as food, get your 72 hours. So we do a variety of things. We do canned food. We do a lot of canned food. This is just an example. This is a 12-pack we picked up for $9 at Sam's Club. We have soups and raviolis and spaghettis and tuna fish and chicken and peanut butter and sauces, and you name it, we have tons of canned food. And the thing about canned food, there's a benefit and a non-benefit to it. The benefit about it is it's usually pretty cheap. We can get 2 cans of tuna fish for $1 at Aldi. The problem with it is that it has an expiration date. Most canned foods are going to be within 2 years. Some, a little longer, they'll probably last. So you have to rotate them. So that is the problem with it. The benefit is they're just cheap. They're just cheap and they're easy to pick up. So like if you add $20, $30, $40 to your grocery budget every 2-3 weeks, whatever that is, you can accumulate pretty quick. So we do a lot of canned foods. Now we also can in mason jar canning. And we haven't done as much in the last couple years, but we're going to start getting back into that. But the benefit to be able to can food isn't just for vegetables out of your garden and that kind of thing. You can also can meat. So if the power went out, I have a lot of venison and beef in my freezer. I can venison. So I could take some of that meat and can it, and it would last me for a year or two. So it's very important to have that ability or that skill to can. So that is #1. #2 is we do a lot of long-term storage food, and we get these buckets here from My Patriot Supply is where we ordered. Now, kind of a footnote right now, with the coronavirus, almost all the food companies, storage companies, are out of food. or it's, you know, an 8, 9, 10 week waiting period. When things die down, which they will, make sure you add some of this because it lasts 30 years. Some of it's 25, but 30 years. And the other thing is this food isn't horrible anymore. It used to be terrible. Now it's actually decent tasting. So that's actually pretty decent. So we have a bunch of these buckets of food, and when you have a big family, this is nice to have as well. We also have a lot of these kind of cans. We have a bunch of these, and these again are 30-year shelf life. My Patriot Supply. This is cheesy broccoli and rice soup, and we have banana chips, and we have tons of these, bean burger and strawberries and stews and rice and breads and all kind of batters and pancakes. I mean, we have tons of this stuff, and this stuff is pretty good. It just, there's so much of variety. It's nice just picking up these cans. So, and to kind of piggyback on these, how do you prepare these? You need water. Water is just essential when it comes to preparedness. Having the ability to get water and to filter water or to boil water is incredibly important. Now, we are blessed to live in a very well-watered area. We have the Great Lakes, we have creeks. I have a creek in my land here, and I have a well that is just incredible. So we have so much water here. We have big Berkey filters. I have bottles with filters. So we've really made the effort to be prepared with water. Something to think about though, if you live in like an apartment or you live in a house in a place where there's not a lot of water, buy bottled water. That might not be the eco-friendly thing to say, but the other day I was at Sam's Club a couple weeks ago, and they had 40 packs for $2.70. I picked up 6 of them. It cost me $17. Do that once in a while. Have that, because that could last you for a week. So I'm just something like that for $17. You'd have a week worth of water, or 2 weeks, depending on how big your family is. So those are things to think about as well. Now, another thing is, now this, like I said, they're pretty much sold out, but these were packs I picked up. I think I saw these come across my email about 6 months ago, and they're offering these 72-hour packs for $10. I bought 5 of them. So these are things, like I said, once it settles down and in a few months, you'll be able to get this food again for good prices. So, but once you start getting your, you have your 30 day or your 72 hours, you have your week, you have your 2 weeks. Once you start accumulating, then you can start getting into this kind of stuff, where you can buy orange drinks for mixtures, or we have a lot of powdered milk, we have coffee, we pick up, like we just got an old time, or country time lemonade. It's a big giant thing. I think it makes, I can't remember how many gallons, but things like that, so you can make other drinks other than just water. So those are things you can start adding once you've accumulated enough food. 2 other things are filler foods, and those are your rice and beans. You want to have a lot of them, and for a couple reasons. One is it's really cheap. You can get a large quantity cheap. It's easy to store. And rice, if you make some rice and you have a can of let's say some vegetables, you can pour that in and make a big pot of rice and have a meal. So those is a very easy filler food, rice and beans. And we also, now not everybody can do this, but we have a renewable source. We have chickens. We can hatch chickens, and we can and we get eggs. So those are renewable sources. Those are great. Renewable sources are phenomenal. So that's kind of the food side. And when we talk about food, and we're going to get into hygiene now, hygiene and food kind of go hand in hand, because battling viruses or diseases takes a couple things. Hygiene takes a good immune system. What you put in your body helps with your immune system. So having a good immune system. So we have a bunch of these bins, various things. We have medical, we have all kinds of stuff down there. But this is a couple of our bins of our hygiene stuff. And these, like I said, with the food, just picking, you see something for a couple bucks, pick it up, throw it in. You'd be surprised how quickly you could fill up these bins. Another thing to think about is we have a 6-month-old. So this is a pack of huge case of diapers. This will last us 5 to 6 weeks. These are things to think about. We have lots of toilet paper. We have lots of toilet paper. I know that's all sold out right now. But you want to have, like, put things in here like You know, this is hand sanitizer. Obviously, you'd rather use soap and water, but if you don't have running water, at least you have something. Toothbrushes, toothpaste. If you're a woman, you know, think about these things. I have daughters, my wife and I, and you know, so you want to be prepared. We have tons of soap, mouthwash. When it comes to hygiene, you always want to think about your mouth and body, cleanliness. Those are where diseases are spread. You want to think about washing your dishes. This, I think, was $3 or $4. This will wash a lot of dishes. What's in this one? This is just other stuff we put in. More deodorant for my wife. Wipes, hand soap. Like, look, we got a bunch of these in here. These are 50 cents or something like that. Throw a bunch of them in a bin. This is for the baby. Razors, shaving cream, lighters, cough drops. Just, you realize how quick you can add up when you just throw these in there. So those are just, you know, make sure you have all your stuff for your hygiene. That is very, very important. And especially if it's for a length of time. So I want to end with this, because this is something we don't think about a lot, and actually I never really thought about a lot. This is something I just recently started getting into, and it's seeds. Once you build up enough food, 6 months, 7, 8 year worth of food you have, this is something, your next step. You should have some seeds. We're actually really going to start getting into gardening, and then we're going to start harvesting our own seeds as well. But I wanted to have just, this has I think 20 different seeds in it, cucumbers, beans, peas, corn, you know, cauliflower. I just wanted to have some, just to have. You never know. I think this was 25 bucks or something like that when I ordered it, so just something to add to your preps. So there you have it. That's how we prepare. These are the things that we've have in our lives, and you know, you never prep out of a spirit of fear. You're not fearful of anything. As a Christian, I'm not fearful of it. But there is a biblical principle. With knowledge comes responsibility. So when you know something and you're responsible, it isn't God just going to take care of me, and you don't have any responsibility in that. So I hope that helps you. If you have any comments, leave them below. And if you actually have any suggestions, stuff I missed, throw them in there. And but thanks for watching. Take care. God bless.